My name is Amari Cheatom, and I play Klook in the Ballad of Klook and Vinette.
So the Ballad of Klook and Vinette. Do you have any idea what the name Klook meant? Because I think they referred to it at the very end, and I was like,
you know what? I made something up. I made something up early on, but no, I don't know where it came from. I don't know what the name means. I just know I'm Klook.
you're Klook. Okay. So tell us a little bit about this play, and about your character in particular.
So, actually, part of the reason why I don't feel guilty about not knowing what Klook means is because of the abstract world that the play lives in. It's a love story, and that's pretty general, but it's a story that exists kind of outside of space and time a little bit, because the play brings up a lot of conversations about like death and what happens right after death, and memories and what memories have to do with life and death. And so, yeah, there's an abstract nature to the play that allows for pieces of it to be a mystery, even for the actor involved, because a lot of it is, we spend a big portion of the play telling the story of what happened to Klook and Vinette. And in the beginning of the play, my character is remembering these moments. And, memory works, it can be patchy, and we spend the time over an hour and a half filling in as much of those patches as we can.
What kind of emotion do you have to bring out of yourself to be able to properly play a character like this?
So Klook is interesting because there's a rage in Klook that comes from his past and choices that he's made in the past that maybe he wished he had made differently, going down a different path, and life has been kind of tough on him, but he understands that it's because of the choices that he's made. So that rage, sometimes it's not really a justified rage. So putting a cap on that rage and doing the best to be as sensible a man as I can be. So rage, but sensibility on top of the rage, so that when the rage is revealed, it's it's one that doesn't have a logic to it, other than he feels like life is beating him up, and I don't think he wants to be a victim, and so I think that he knows that rage is not justified. So it's a rage that flies out because he cannot break through whatever walls he's been trying, or the ceilings that he wants to break through, that he's been trying to break through for the later part of his life. So rage is and putting the cap on rage is love, sincerely caring for this woman and feeling free enough to care for this woman without any regard to how loving someone this way might get him into trouble. Feeling free in a way that maybe he hasn't, because he's had to put restraints on himself so that he could live a life that was worth living, like I said, in the latter part of his life. So it's strange. So rage and freedom through love are, I'd say, the core emotions that I had to find.
Okay. One of the things that just struck me when the show first starts is it has a very cool vibe. It's a cool show.
Yeah.
With cool characters.
Yeah.
Kind of tell me about that space as far as that you try to put yourself in to kind of match that vibe of the show. Like,
Okay.
how do you? What kind of space do you like listen? Like a football player, when they come ready on the field, they may play a lot of music to get them excited or hyped up.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of space do you put yourself in to kind of match the energy of the show?
I'm listening in the dressing room. In the dressing room before the show, I'm listening to these. Recently, the music that has been in my soul to like, man, I want to hear this, is Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions, or is that the name of the album, Inner Visions? You know that Stevie Wonder?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just can't think of the
that
name.
song. Too high, so high. Whatever album that song is on, I think it's Inner Visions. I like to listen to that, Thelonious Monk, and Miles Davis. So those are the musically, that's where Klook, you know, because he's an older man. He's 20 years older than Vinette. And so I imagine that, you know, in the 70s, he was like, you know, vibing to these tunes or these styles, as Che likes to say.
Now, in this production, there's a pretty decent amount of music as well as singing.
Yeah.
Is that something you do that you've done, I guess, outside of acting, or is this something kind of new to you?
It's not brand new to me. The last time I sang was in college at the Juilliard School. It was for a cabaret. And even when I was in college singing this song at the cabaret, I wasn't thinking, I'm going to train my voice and I'm going to go be on Broadway. Although some Juilliard actors do that, I wasn't thinking that way, because I had been singing since elementary school. I had been in choir, and all through elementary school, all through middle school, and then when it was time to pick a high school, I found out about Tri-Cities Visual and Performing Arts Magnet in East Point, and I didn't want to be in the choir. That was my thing. I'm not gonna be in the choir anymore. But I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then they had an acting program. I was like, I'll do that. So I did musicals all through high school because that's what they had us doing. So I was singing, you know, and that. And then I really, though, one of the reasons why I appreciate that situation at Tri-Cities was because I found my acting through the singing. I would and my singing voice through the acting. I would have to play these characters, and even though I wasn't the best singer at Tri-Cities, I was finding character voices, you know, within these songs. I would find the pitches. I was able to sing the song through finding the character in the song. So a lot of my process I found through singing, funnily enough. But then after college, I didn't sing. I haven't sang in a play or performed any singing live since college.
Wow. So being that you're not necessarily a trained singer in a professional sense, what would you think was the key for you pulling this off? Because you pulled it off. You did a great job.
Thank you. First of all, the music set perfect in my range. I have a theory. I've never talked to Che or anybody else about this, but I think Che wrote the piece for himself. He wrote a play that he could do. And so the singing was perfectly in my range, and the songs and the parts that I was singing were not crazy. I didn't have a whole lot of crazy lyrics. But in my opinion, Vinette's singing is more intricate than mine. And so I think he wrote it for the male parts. He didn't have to be, you know, a virtuoso. He could just be a okay singer and just get these lines out, you know. So.
All right. Well, you definitely pulled that off.
Thank you.
What do you hope the audience can gain, or what do you think the audience can gain from this production this evening?
I hope that audiences walk away with questions, with a different perspective on, you know, what it means to be human, a different perspective on people's experiences that maybe they've made harsh judgments about, and even their own lives and places they might have judged themselves. Because it's really hard to be human, man, and you never know what people's life experience has been to get them to the point where they're making the choices that they're making. And I guess at the end of it all, compassion, you know, but that compassion, but a compassion that comes from a questioning, you know, not just kind of compassion for compassion's sake, but like compassion just because you know, even for yourself in your life, man, I've struggled with these types of things. Maybe not exactly the same thing, but you know, I've been in love like this and it's gone this way. And actually, the most of the times that I've been in love, rarely has it ever been like, you know, frolicking in fields and like sugar plum fairies. It's usually hard, you know, and sometimes it can even be destructive. And we learn, and from those lessons we learn to make different choices. And sometimes people die before they can actually make the choices that they've learned to make. So yeah, I hope people, once they've processed it, I hope compassion is what the outcome is.
All right, there you have it. I appreciate it. So if people want to find out more information about this show or check it out themselves, how can they do so?
Horizon Theater Company, Google, Facebook. They have a Twitter page. I don't know. I'm sure they have an Instagram page. I've just never. I'm not on Instagram, so I don't see it. But yeah, Google.
All right.
The Ballad of Klook and Vinette at Horizon Theater.
All right, there you have it again. Thank you, appreciate it, man.
No problem.
All right, so you can find them everywhere except for Instagram. So make sure you check them out on Facebook.
I'm on Instagram too. I don't use it, but I'm on all the platforms. I'm just terrible at social media. Terrible.
A lot of artists seem to be.
It's bad, man. It's bad.
Thank you again, man. Have a great day.
You too.